let's kind of juxtapose that to what we see here. Not much different. The only difference is that this is legal, right? Now, anyway, it should be illegal, right? Because of the risk. All right, so let's bring this home. We saw, just like FTX right here, we have an exchange. So market maker is an exchange for big institution, but it's still an exchange nonetheless. So we have market maker right here, which Citadel is, who have asset from buyer, okay, and seller. Now it works a little bit different, right? So, okay, hold on. Now, this relationship never happens because they never have any seller. They just have buyers who want to buy security, stocks. I make an example of GME, right? So the buyer has money. They send it to the market maker. Like, hey, I have money here. And of course, seller, they're supposed to go to the seller to fetch the security, but instead of doing that, they diverted the money. Now, whether this is a separate entity or not, it could happen inside here, right? But the point is, instead of taking that money to buy GME, what do? They take that money and reroute it to buy some other security. And mind you, Citadel has a trading firm as well. Right? Now, supposedly, by law, they're not supposed to have any relationship. But you can't tell me that since Citadel is a market maker and they have a trading firm that is supposedly by law they're not supposed to communicate, owned by the same person, and not be in communication or not having any kind of connection there, right? I think it's naive to think that that is not happening behind closed door, right? And of course the news never say anything about this whole relationship here, and it's the same way happening here in the FTX debacle, right? And so the point is that this security right here, that they take the money, from your security sold, not yet purchased. This is security sold, not yet purchased, right? They take it so that they could buy another security. The same way here. Now the problem is this security right here, this right here, we don't know whether it's risky, what type of security out there. So the risk is unknown at this point in time. The point that I'm trying to drive is that if this go bust, then everybody lose money, just like what happened in the FTX. Everyone lose money. Right now, FTX is only $10 billion loss, okay? What happened here? This is much larger. And again, this is just one entity. That is why we need a reform. That is why we need to have people pay attention to this. Just because they have a wall of regulator, a wall of policy that tells you this is legal to do, doesn't mean it's safe for everybody.
I think if there is a silver lining here, it's that at this point, the crypto industry is quarantined enough from the economy at large as to not create the kind of contagion that would have been created as that happened in the 2008 subprime crash and all those things. But it's the exact same fucking mechanism.
Yeah.
And that's the part that is so frustrating, is to watch us play this damn song over and over again, and we're always told, "Hey, man, no, this is just this is the system as it has to be, in a capitalist system." But it's not. It's utterly corrupt at its core, and that's not a bug; it's a feature.
All right, I'm gonna stop it there. So with Jon Stewart, though, I think he's on the side of, hey, all crypto is bad, and that the idea of decentralization is just a front. And I think it's deeper than that. I think Eric is right when it comes to the point of cryptocurrency is the fact that we don't have to trust a third party or the human, right? Because we know that humans are flawed in that sense, and that we already have regulation here.
But you're talking about some pretty serious people with some pretty serious money, and then a ton of other kind of regular run-of-the-mill retail investors who are using this exchange. How did nobody figure out that the whole thing was kind of a scam?
Well, Twitter figured it out. Crypto Twitter figured it out. Just people using blockchain forensics figured it out, and that's kind of what started this all unwinding. It certainly wasn't the government that figured it out. It certainly wasn't regulators that figured it out. It certainly wasn't the police anywhere that figured it out. It was just private people doing some investigation. And so it was discovered because basically they had to stop having customer withdrawals. They had to pause them. And that's always like a huge red flag. There should be no point where a custodian is ever pausing withdrawals. That's a problem.
So
and they're pausing it because they didn't have enough money to fund it.
Right. I mean, this is the sort of thing we read about in the 1930s, or right after the stock market crash, that this Twitter thread emerges, and they say actually FTX is completely screwed, and then people come in and they say, okay, I want to get my money out of here, and it's basically like a run on the bank, and the bank, or the exchange, the FTX in this case, doesn't have the funds, and so they say, okay, we're going to put a pause on it, and then no one has any faith whatsoever in the institution anymore, and then the whole thing just collapses instantly.
Yeah, the comparison to a bank is the right one. So just like with banks, FTX operated on what's called a custodial model, where it's holding customer money. So a lot of things in crypto are called self-custody, where you're holding your own keys, you're holding your own crypto, and you don't have to worry about whether people are trustworthy. But still, people deposit funds with third parties. And in this case, the third party was FTX. And just like a bank that doesn't actually have all the money in it that people think it does, FTX did not either. But unlike a bank, FTX does not have a backstop of taxpayers in the form of FDIC insurance. So when the run started, it all fell apart.
Well, the only disagreement between the two is the fact that Jon Stewart thinks that all of it is just a facade, while Eric, which I'm on the camp of, meaning that I agree with him on the fact that this has nothing to do with crypto, right? And that crypto in and of itself is actually the thing that makes people kind of question and brought FTX down, essentially. The regulator was not there. All right, guys, so that's all I have, and see you in another video. Okay, bye.